Hey everyone, it's Bill Warrell, your Bradenton, Sarasota Realtor, and this is the first of a three-part series in which we're going to talk more about mortgages in depth. We're going to be talking to Kyle Jacobs with Fairway Funding, and he's got some really good information for you. So let's get into it. Let's go. Hey everyone, welcome back. This is our second session talking with Kyle Jacobs, lender, or Kyle, senior lender.
I'm not a big guy. I'm not into titles.
All right.
I've been in the business 32 years and I just call myself a loan officer.
All right. Well, you are the main guy, in my opinion, with Fairway Funding and Lakewood Ranch. And this is our second session. Hope that you at home are following along, and got a couple more mortgage questions for Kyle. Kyle, can you dig a little bit into the different types of mortgages, what's available, and the advantages or disadvantages of each?
We'll talk about the most common mortgages that we hear. First, we have conventional financing. So when you hear terms like Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac are basically two entities that govern conventional financing. Most lenders underwrite to Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac guidelines, because at some point in time, Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac will own the loan. You hear about loans being sold or transferred. So when you hear the term conventional financing, that's Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac. Conventional finance loans interest rates are governed very much by credit score. So the conventional loan for somebody with excellent credit, down payment money, not a lot of challenges, no bankruptcies, foreclosures, short sales in the recent future. Conventional financing is typically the best type of loan for those folks, but every situation is different. The most common loan used for first-time home buyers is FHA financing. Some of the benefits of FHA financing: FHA allows for lower credit scores without impacting the interest rate, minimal down payment, 3.5%. It allows for higher debt to income ratios for folks that are, maybe the housing payment is getting towards the maximum to where they can qualify. You can oftentimes qualify for a little bit higher purchase price with an FHA loan versus a conventional loan, especially with the lowest down payments. A lot of flexibility there with FHA. If you've had a foreclosure in your past, it only has to be 3 years ago, as opposed to conventional financing. If you had a foreclosure, it must be 7 years since the foreclosure event. So very commonly used loan program for first-time home buyers, for folks with some credit and income challenges. And in many cases, it's just the best loan, and it can be a great loan. FHA actually has lower interest rates than the average conventional loan, but it does have a little bit higher mortgage insurance premiums. The best loan on the planet is for the veteran. The VA mortgage is a fantastic loan. It allows for 100% of the home to be financed. So if you're buying a $400,000 house and you're a veteran and you have your eligibility, which is pretty much anybody who's served and has their full eligibility, they can finance 100%, literally no down payment. They still have closing costs. However, you buy a $400,000 or $500,000 house, you can finance all of it.
Wow, that's great.
And then another program that is a great loan, not used as much, is the USDA Rural Development Loan. A lot of times when folks hear about USDA, there's an assumption that you have to be buying farmland out in the middle of nowhere, and that's not accurate. Actually, in Manatee County, any area east of Interstate 75 qualifies for USDA financing. Now, there are income limits, there are some credit limits, but the USDA loan allows a family to finance up to 100% of the purchase price. And the income limits are pretty lenient. For a family of 1 to 4, you can earn up to $93,000 a year. A family of more than 4, so mom and dad with 3 kids, they can earn up to $119,000 to qualify. So it is not a low income program, it's a moderate income loan program. And then for folks who buy larger homes or finance larger amounts, there's jumbo financing. And jumbo financing is similar to conventional. However, it's for loan amounts currently higher than $548,250, which is the current loan limit. So that's some basics on the most common loan programs that we'll use.
And can you dig into a little bit more? Are there any first-time home buyer programs? I know at one point, I think if you attended a first-time home buyer seminar for some of these government programs, that they would give you discounts. I don't know if they do that anymore. Can you speak to that a little bit?
It's not as common as it once was. And I will tell you, when they had some of these, what were marketed as first-time home buyer programs, the terms were no better than what I would offer on a 3% down conventional loan or a 3.5% FHA loan. So it was great marketing. However, typically, there wasn't a great advantage. There are some grant programs out there that have become even more challenging because the federal government has not released a lot of money for them.
Right.
So again, the FHA loan is often used, very common for first-time home buyers, but it is not a first-time home buyer program. Anyone is eligible as long as they currently don't have an FHA loan. Now, in the conventional financing, the standard minimum down payment is 5%. However, if you are a first-time home buyer, you can put as little down as 3%.
Okay.
So a great benefit. However, with 3% down versus 5% down, you're going to pay a little bit more in mortgage insurance.
Right. Okay.
So the loan programs that are fantastic for the first-time buyer that doesn't have a lot of money saved is the 3% down conventional, 3.5% down FHA. If they qualify for USDA, that's a fantastic loan. And then, of course, if you're a veteran, veterans oftentimes, have a great benefit because they don't have a lot of money saved. So
right.
That's where that would come in. There are some programs that give a little bit of a discount if you do a first-time home buyer course, like you said, but I found the companies offering them aren't offering anything different than what I'm offering without them.
Okay, that's good to know. In our first session, you had touched upon adjustable rate mortgages or ARMs. Mm-hmm. Are those still a thing? Are people doing those? And are there any advantages or disadvantages to doing an ARM?
Currently, there's not. And the reason why is fixed interest rates are so low now that the adjustable rates in many cases are actually higher. So I have not written an adjustable rate mortgage other than on a jumbo loan, which is again above 548 in a couple of years.
Okay.
There was a time where it would be a benefit. For instance, I'm buying when interest rates are higher, there's going to be a bigger spread between the fixed term and the adjustable. So if we go back to when interest rates were, a good rate was 5% for a 30-year fixed, and maybe a 5-year adjustable was 3.25%. If I had a client buying a house and they said, hey, we want the 30-year payment, but our intention is to only stay in this house for 4 or 5 years. There's a perfect example where an adjustable rate mortgage would be a good loan program for them. They can save 1.5, 1.75 in that example in interest, knowing that they're not planning to be in the house 5 years out.
Right.
But right now, there's really not a benefit for adjustable rate mortgages. That changes more as interest rates increase.
Okay. Other than the obvious in terms of the length of a loan, what, if any, benefits are there to doing a 15, 20, 25, 30-year loan? What kind of benefits are there for that?
Okay. For the most part, there's not much of a difference in interest rate between a 20-year and a 30-year.
Okay.
Right now, we're at industry-wide. I should say industry-wide, there's no difference. With my interest rates right now, on average, a 20-year loan, which is the least used amortization period in the industry, is 1/8% lower.
Okay.
The difference in payment, many people are surprised with a 30 versus a 20. I love the 20-year because it not only do you pay your house off sooner, you accumulate equity. I ran a quick scenario this morning. If I were to finance $300,000 on a 30-year loan at 3% interest, my principal and interest payment is $1,265.
Mm-hmm.
If I were to finance $300,000 over 20 years, the interest rate's only going to be 1/8% lower. So I use 2.875 in my example. The mortgage payment goes up $380.
Mm-hmm.
So for an extra $380 a month, you're paying your house off 10 years sooner.
Right.
And 10 years into the 30-year loan, I would still owe $228,000. By paying the extra $380 a month, 10 years into the 20-year loan, I'd owe $171,000.
Okay.
So you can see how much faster you're building equity in your home.
Right.
Now, the real benefit in interest rate becomes at the 15-year mark.
Okay.
Because 15-year rates are lower than 30. But again, the higher the interest rates, the bigger the spread. So right now, the difference between a 30 and a 15 is 0.5% or less. So that same $300,000 over 15 years at a 2.625 interest rate would add $758 to my 30-year. Not as palatable for some because maybe that makes the house unaffordable for them. But I love the 20-year because you can see on 300,000, the difference is $380, but I'm building equity faster.
Right.
Now I'll have a lot of folks that say, well, we're going to do the 30-year, but we're going to make an extra payment every month.
Right.
And the reality is that 99% of homeowners never pay an extra dollar on their principal.
Right.
So they go in with good intentions and then life happens and it doesn't
happen.
The extra payments are not made.
Right.
And it can be significant. Now it is great if you do take out a 30-year loan and occasionally can put extra money towards your principal, you will pay that house off faster. But those with the 15-year, there's a little bit difference in interest rate. So definitely a benefit for the person who really can afford it.
Right.
I encourage it. I love to see people pay off their homes.
Yeah, that's a good feeling. Thanks, Kyle, again for explaining some more of the mortgage process, the mortgage system here. And everybody, please stay tuned for our third and final session in our mortgage series. Thanks for watching.
Thank you, Bill.